Alright, what is going on, people of the internet? Welcome back to the episode of Ark Survival Evolved Max Speed. In this episode, we're taking a look at the tape jar. It's basically a tape jar. That's what I'm calling it. I know it's probably like Tapejara or something, but I'm calling it the tape jar. So, basically, this was added in very recently in an update, and it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, this is actually a very interesting creature, and it's something I feel like that we were kind of missing. Because if you remember when the Quetzal was released into Ark, you probably remember people saying that it was not very fast, not very good at combat, didn't have a lot of health, so there's really not much role of the Quetzal other than being a mobile base. Now, when we actually got the Quetzal, it was a monster in combat, and it was incredibly fast, it had amazing stamina, and all of the stats in the dossier were quite wrong. Luckily, when we got this tape jar, it's actually kind of slow, and I never thought I'd be happy that amount was slow, but it feels like it does kind of fulfill a need for this game, because all of the flyers that we have right now are fast combat focused mounts. I mean, a Pteranodon is slightly worse at combat than an Argent, but it's faster, whereas the tape jar here is rather good at going and, well, just kind of going about at a rather slow pace. And you can see here, it is not a fast flyer, and it makes a lot of weird noises. And there's another one above me right now that you'll see hovering over the redwood biome, but I had to turn on players only, so that's why everything's kind of stationary. But you can kind of see here the behavior of a wild tape jar. Oh, I'm gonna get so much hate for calling it a tape jar, but basically, you get near them and they run away. So I could imagine taming one of these guys would be rather tricky. And so first time attempt at trying to land on a redwood tree like they showed in the trailer for this thing where the guy had a 3-person saddle, complete success. It's that easy. You just go up to a tree, press spacebar on it, and then it clips onto it. From what I've seen here, the rider itself cannot actually look down and start shooting at people, but that's fine because it is a 3-person saddle from what I saw, and I'm sure that the 2 other people would be able to do so no problem, and I actually really like this thing. If you're playing on a server and it's a PvP, you're probably going to want one of these guys because it's pretty good for stealth operations. This was kind of a stealth update itself. I mean, you had the Archaeopteryx, I believe it was called. I mean, I keep confusing it with the Pokemon. Archon was the pre-evolution, and then it's Archeops? Archeops. So it's probably the Archaeopteryx or something. So basically, this thing gets actually pretty suitable movement speed. I mean, it speeds up to about the speed of a regular Pteranodon when you do all this, but honestly, I wouldn't recommend a max movement speed build for this guy just because it's a 3-person saddle. If you're going to want to have 3 people fully geared up on this thing going into combat, it's going to be a lot of weight, and you're probably going to want to buff the weight to like 700 first, and then maybe look into doing movement speed afterwards, or even health is a good option. So obviously it's not worth your time to try and land on any of the trees that aren't these big thick redwood trees, because it just straight up does not work. It can only land in this biome, which is a bit of a shame. I mean, the regular Ark map, I feel, is kind of outdated compared to newer maps like the Center or Scorched Earth, and even probably some of the modded maps. And I feel like it would be a lot better if we maybe had a map for each of the biomes, so one map was only redwood, one map was only swamp, one map was only desert like what we have with Scorched Earth, and then maybe we had one grand map like the Center. But as for right now, the redwood biome is really only on this one. I think the Center has a redwood biome as well. Basically, it's only going to be really useful in those select biomes, so I'm not even sure if you can get this thing in Scorched Earth, but let me tell you, it's not going to have as much value as it would in this game, because it's no better than any other flying mount. In fact, the Quetzal beats it in nearly every area. If you want to have a bunch of players on your creature and have them start shooting down at people, the Quetzal can hold more people, it can give you more cover because you can build on its mobile platform on its saddle, and you can fit more people on it and they can shoot a lot more, not to mention the fact that it has so much more carrying. So this thing is good if you're attacking somebody who's in the redwood forest, but the problem with it is that the Quetzal outmatches it in nearly every other place. It's a lot faster, it can carry more people, it can carry a lot more gear, and you're better off going for a Quetzal. But still, I really do like this tape jar. And I think it is really interesting. And it's actually, I remember playing Ark for the first time with my friend. Oh, that's disorientating. Oh god, that gave me a headache. I remember playing Ark for the first time with my friend when we were exploring the map around on our Pteranodon that we tamed, because we were playing on an LAN server, so we had to be within 50 meters of each other at all times because my game was rendering everything in, his game was receiving, but he had to be within range of mine because his wasn't rendering anything. So we had to be flying around on the same Pteranodon in order for anything to work. And this actually is a good substitute because obviously when you have a low-level Pteranodon and you're trying to explore the map, you have to land, and that can get you killed if you land at the wrong time in the wrong place. But this thing, you could probably make some good pit stops on some trees. Like if you're up in the northwest of the map, you can fly down, stop off on a tree, and then keep going, and you can probably do the whole map in one trip if you are smart with conserving everything. So yeah, bottom line, this is a pretty cool creature. I mean, it can house 3 people, and it's kind of that mid-ranged flyer. I mean, we have a lot of high-end ones already. We have the low-end Pteranodon, and it's really cool. I'm looking forward to checking out the other dinosaur that was added in this dossier. If you didn't see the video yesterday, I'm looking for admins for a PvP server on Scorched Earth. If you're interested in that, go ahead and send an email to the email that I've left in the description. If you have any questions or comments about anything, feel free to leave it in the comment section of this video, and we'll see you next episode of whatever we make. Peace! Holy crap, this thing is fast, and I'm not sure it's physically possible for anything to beat its wings that quickly, aside from insects. I'm sure hummingbirds and bees and stuff do that. But in Ark, I don't believe the dinosaurs can go this quickly. I think this may be one of the fastest creatures in the game, aside from maybe the water creatures who are notoriously fast. And something that's really cool about the Allosaurus is it gets a boost to its attack when it's around other creatures. It gets other Allosaurus in a pack, I should say, probably to do with friendly creatures. So if you have a bunch of tamed Allosauruses and you take them all out, it benefits all of them.